This year, a fountain was built for Vounous. It's an impressive fountain, about 2 meters high, and will be an exciting backdrop for the big ceremony on the 7th. Unfortunately, the furnace I had been using was behind it, and there was no way to keep the water from the fountain from running into it. It's too bad, since I'd used that furnace for years and it's held up very well. The only solution was to make a new furnace. We chose a dry place closer to the bread oven. Yusuf dug a small hole for me, and I got grog clay, called şamut in Turkish, some sand, dried cow dung, and sawdust. The first thing to do was to mix the clay. Hasan is here doing the mixing. I ended up using the sawdust instead of cow dung because it's already pretty much a powder. Using a fine, organic material that will burn away in high temperatures is important for furnaces because it reduces the amount of cracking. When the clay is heated, it expands and then shrinks as it cools. The action causes the clay to crack. When the organic material, whether it's sawdust, animal hair, or manure, is burned out, it creates tiny holes in the clay. It's kind of like ventricles in lungs. It allows the clay to expand without cracking. I ended up not using the sand because there was already so much grog in the clay. Solid particles also help prevent cracking because if a crack starts to form, it will hit the particle and surround it rather than continuing on. The next step was to moisten the inside of the hole. If the soil is dry, the clay will not stick to it and will just fall away. So why are we lining a hole with clay anyway? If we just dug a hole in the ground and filled it with charcoal, the heat would dissipate. By basically building a clay pot in the ground, the heat will be contained and the ground around it will insulate it. There is also a narrow slot at the front of the furnace. This is where the tuyere, the pipe from the bellows, will rest. It's angled slightly downwards so the air will go into the charcoal in the furnace rather than across the top. Finally, we take the clay and pound it into the hole, making a lining about 3 centimeters thick. We also built up the back to make a sort of a heat shield that will reflect the heat back into the furnace. The clay is smoothed and given a nice edge. Now it can dry overnight, and if the weather holds, we should be able to start a fire in it tomorrow.